am so excited to have one of my favorite people in the entire world, Mindy Harley, here with us for the Business Mastery Summit. You all are going to get a plethora amount of information from her over the next 25 minutes or so, and I know you're going to want to find out more information. So definitely click on all of her information and go follow her. You're just going to get a wealth of cool information that you don't really hear from a lot of people. So thank you, Mindy, for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Amber. I'm so excited to be a part of your summit.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that were asking a lot of different questions about what things that they want to hear from people and entrepreneurs and business owners. And there's people already super successful, and then there's people just trying to start their side hustle. And so, one of the things that I want to chat with you a little bit about is, when you first started to become an entrepreneur, and if you had to start all over again, right? If you had to start all over again, what are some of those things that you would change? But first, before we do that, we get into the meat of it. I want to really just kind of do a quick introduction to the audience on who you are, what you do for a living, what are your passions, your goals, and provide us kind of some resources on what your business entails.
Yeah, so I am a entrepreneur here in California. I'm originally from Canada, so I actually have a very unique story because my entrepreneurship journey started when I left Canada for Mexico, and I started to do social media marketing and management full time because of my move. So in that case, I started working only with a select few clients, and it started off just couple clients, and that was all I really needed in Mexico. I didn't really have plans in expanding much more, but life took a turn and I found myself falling in love and moving to the United States, where I got the opportunity now to obviously expand both my husband's business and my own business. So with that, my social media marketing business took off, but it wasn't quite the takeoff that I had expected, because management was still at a price point for a lot of small business owners that just wasn't attainable for them. So with small business owners, unfortunately, they do know that you have to have social media to market your business nowadays. A lot of the older generation that didn't quite grow up with the cell phones in their hands now are admitting, yes, I need help, but unfortunately, social media management just wasn't in their budget. So that kind of stunted my growth a little bit where I was situated in Omaha, Nebraska. What I did to pivot, and this was a turning point for me, was that I decided then to offer social media business coaching for small businesses and entrepreneurs. So that allowed me to basically hand over the blueprint and my knowledge to small business owners in a custom tailored plan that would allow them to market their business on social media like a professional without the cost. And as an added bonus, since they are fully trained in how proper social media management and marketing should be, they know when they need to hand off the keys to somebody else, how their business should be taken care of online.
Yeah. And, I think one of the key things that I took away from that is delegating, right? As an entrepreneur, you need to delegate the things that you're not the best at. We all get into it because of what we love, but we're not necessarily great at all the pieces of the business that create that empire, right? And so, for
Exactly.
me, when it comes to Bess and myself, she's like the back end. She does the coding and the design and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, that does not sound fun at all. I'd rather do some more of the content and the marketing stuff. And so it makes a good partnership. But I think that is one of the biggest challenges for people nowadays is social media marketing. There's several aspects of marketing you could do for a business, and we're going to cover a lot of that with our Pillars of Profitability course, whether it be business development opportunities and partnering, or doing lead generation in different facets. There's so many different ways to generate leads nowadays, and I think people get a little bit overwhelmed on where to start with lead management. And I think when we start social media as an entrepreneur and as a business, we sometimes don't have a long-term direction for that social media. I think people tend to kind of just put out content hoping it's sticking somewhere. So if you could give anybody some advice that is an entrepreneur that's either just starting out, or maybe they're already in business but they haven't really dove into investing in their social media marketing, what are a few kind of takeaways that you would advice you would give them on where to start, basically?
Well, where to start? So obviously, I think looking at some of the big platforms out there, I always recommend for my clients to at least have a Facebook and Instagram page for their business. Second, you want to make sure that you are taking quality photos. Now, this doesn't mean hiring a professional. It just means maybe taking the time and going over a few tutorials for basic photography, and just making sure just basics like your photos are well lit, they're inviting. Perhaps you're sticking to a color palette for your grid, for your business that invokes all the colors for your branding. And then you really want to make sure that you're not only just talking about the product and the benefits, you really want to make sure that your business can connect to your audience as a human, and giving that humanity to your business as well online, because you need to um, make that connection between your clientele and your business, service, or product, that it's going to reach them from their phone, because you can't have that personal connection with them face to face, so that they can get to know you, get to know your mannerisms, tonality, so you expedite that connection a lot faster. Now, you really want to start sharing your story as a business as well, and you really want to let them know what's in it for them. This is social media is all about them as well. So not forgetting that it's not just about you and the business, it's about what your business can do for them. What kind of value can you provide for them that is also in the ecosystem of your business or product? So if maybe you are selling yoga mats, maybe you want to offer them tutorial videos, wellness tips, provide them more that goes with your business or product online.
Yeah, yeah. I think building trust is probably the hardest, longest, tedious part of social media, right? It
Absolutely.
it's like networking. You have to build trust. A lot of people will see that stuff and they will not engage with it for a little while. You need to touch them a few times, and then they go, oh, this topic touches me, so now I can kind of engage. And I think that most people want that engagement right off the bat, but it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. And also, it's engaging with
Mm-mm.
people. Sometimes maybe your friends aren't the right people for your business, right? Depending on what your business does. So really kind of making sure that you're connecting with the right audience is definitely really important. And you touched on the photography piece. I
Mm-hmm.
know that even for myself, this is something that I'm just like, it's one of those things I'm like, and so if it's something that you don't want to do, hire somebody to do it. One of the things that I found really helpful is just you can buy preset filters, right? You can buy the Lightroom Presents packages. And so I highly recommend people check out the Lightroom Presents packages, go download some of those. You can create a theme. You don't have to be a professional like editor to do this, and you can get some great images
Mm.
and edit them. So check that out. How do you have any a couple tools that you recommend for editing photos and creating great images for social media?
Well, a couple of the tools that I prefer to use, as you say, like the Lightroom presets, are really nice as well to use on there. I do use a couple of those. But other than that, I use an app called Snapseed as well. And you can use other apps. There's other apps like Facetune if you need to get rid of like a blemish, or if you need to blur out the background. If you're not quite on that 11 Pro game yet with the blurry backgrounds, you can blur out your background on your photos to make it look really nice. It actually looks like you can do a professional shot of your product with the background all blurred, and you didn't even have the $5,000 camera or the 11 Pro Mac iPhone. So I mean, you can really use these apps to create photography tricks to really give it a polished look.
Yeah, so investing in yourself. It's we have to learn, and you have to learn stuff that maybe isn't something that you necessarily want to learn, but you have to invest in yourself for your journey so you can teach somebody else even down the road, right? And maybe
Yeah.
some people are wanting to kind of go, hey, maybe if my marketing team can handle this, but I can't show them my brand, or I feel it and I know what it is. And that's really connection with your team and making sure that they know what the brand and the why is and how you're serving your clients. It's all about how we serve them. What can we give them? What can
Mhm.
we provide them of value? And I think that's why we're doing the summit, right? We don't want to just talk. We want to provide them value and some actionable things that they can go, oh, like Snapseed, now I can go download this, or, certain things that are going to help them with their business. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to reach back here to our conversation and pull back, what that advice would be for entrepreneurs that are just now starting their business. Things that you maybe did at first that you were like, why did I do that? And you look back on it and it was ridiculous. Or you wish you had a mentor to kind of teach you the ropes at that beginning stage. What's kind of one of the big primary pieces of advice you can give beginning entrepreneurs?
Well, I think I was I was I was pretty happy with how I started. I avoided the I just did it. I forced myself to just do it. Like I didn't overthink or put it off. I just jumped right in. But I did have an assistant at some point, but I would probably say that I would have delegated sooner in my journey and not put off till the end. Of course, me being myself, and I know, and a lot of women out there like to think that we can handle it all and do it all, and we can. But why should we, when our resources and our energy is better spent doing something else to scale the business? So I probably would have just brought someone in a lot sooner. And I know that's not always an option for someone to hire someone, but nowadays you can get away with, if you've got a younger sibling, if you have a friend that's maybe looking for work right now, that you can there's always a way that you can find those resources when you need them. So I would say that maybe even now is probably a really awesome time to be looking for an assistant that might even fit your budget as well, because right now a lot of people are working from home and looking for an extra side hustle themselves. So even having a virtual assistant might be an option for you too.
Yeah, delegating is everything, right? It's all about balance in life.
Hmm.
And the things that we want to focus
Yeah.
on in our summit was we focus a lot on not just the business but also balance in life, right? We have to love our life and have
Hmm.
that balance in order to be successful. And I think your health is your wealth, and the healthier you are, the healthier your business will be. And we both come from the fitness industry. That's how we met years and years ago, and somehow you just became my
Yeah.
soul sister through all these years. But fitness is not just a big piece of our business and what we do. And I'm a strong believer that you cannot have one without the other. You just simply can't. I notice when I'm super stressed with my work that it definitely affects my personal life, right? Because I'm working at night, 9 p.m. at night,
Hmm.
emails. And so delegating duties is super important. And one thing, a couple tools like Fiverr, you can always find freelancers to help you with small little projects if you want to update your website or do something with social media, and you don't really want to hire somebody in the footprint yet. You definitely find some great freelancers that'll help you with small little projects. We've started to delegate a lot of that for AV Academy too, and we just now started that, and I do actually wish we would have done that a little bit earlier already. um, you know it's so funny because one of the things that we talk about with this summit, and I find this to be one of my favorite questions when I'm talking with business owners and entrepreneurs, is we always talk about the good things and the things that we can help people with, but I think fear is our ultimate thing that holds us back in life, no matter what it is we do. It's whether it be fear of failure or fear of what other people think of us. There's all these fears that are just in our head and nobody even hears them or sees them besides ourselves. And so, what would be your pick on your real big tip on overcoming that fear of failure? And how did you overcome your initial fear? What was your fear starting, the business?
So I think the biggest thing that I had to get over, and kind of my fear, was telling myself that I was worthy and I was able and I was um, capable of taking that next step. A lot of the cases in a lot of the clients that I coach is that feeling of unworthiness, and it's giving yourself that permission. I had been in the business for almost a decade, but now I need to step out as a new position, evolving with my business, and now being someone that is a coach and steps into the light on social media and puts herself out there on videos and starts speaking more directly one-on-one with my community. And it's giving myself that permission that yes, I am an expert. I can speak on this. I know I know what I'm doing. So a lot of people need to give themselves that permission. They need to have a strong affirmations daily that they are reciting to themselves if they feel that they are not in that headspace yet, to reprogram themselves and to reframe their fear.
Yeah.
Okay, so reframe your fear and take that leap.
Yeah, so one thing I'd love for you to share with the community, if you have, is some of those affirmations that maybe you do use, right? We talk a lot about mindset and reprogramming your mind, and I think it would be a great tool to kind of give some people here just some affirmations that will help them overcome their fear. I think no matter what we do, we're always going to have that fear. We're always going to think of that stuff of ourselves, but we have to kind of stop thinking in our brain, our own mind. We have to get outside the box. And I think for a lot of people, it's just fear of what other people are thinking about us, right? Oh, there's other experts that know so much more. Oh, they talk about so much. That's not it. You have to really stay focused on what your why is, but not only your why. um, how do you want to serve your community? You don't have to do all of this
Mhm.
stuff. You just have to serve them with one specific thing. And I even till now, even when we started AV Academy, we had that fear, right? And it was like, hey, we've both been in this business for 20 plus years. Like, we know what we're doing. I've helped multi-million-dollar businesses grow millions and millions of dollars in profit. So understanding your worth and your value and bringing that value to
Mhm.
others. It's not that you know everything, right? It's providing this community that we can all share all this stuff together. And you have done a lot of really stuff lately that are talking about mindset and reprogramming your brain and your thoughts and your actions and how all of that plays into your life. And so I highly encourage anybody who's on the summit or who is joined this interview with Mindy to check out some of the content that she's been putting out. It's some really interesting, cool stuff on health and natural medicines. So tell us a little bit about that piece to close out the interview here.
The mindset or natural medicines or all of it? Okay.
Dude, that's
Well, pardon me?
I said, let's talk about the natural medicines piece.
Natural medicine piece. Okay, so well, with natural medicines, I am a huge plant advocate in my life. I've been healed by plant medicines, ayahuasca, and I feel this is definitely something that maybe people will want to consider. This has been used for hundreds of years in the tribes. It is, of course, kind of taking off now a little bit as far as people getting to be more aware of plant medicines and ayahuasca. But at the other spectrum of it, the use of psychedelics and cannabis and other entheogens is getting a lot of recognition now and research for what it can do to rewire your brain and help with addictions, PTSD. So a lot of the times, we are human, and a lot of entrepreneurs will be carrying these things with us every day, whether it's our PTSD, our anxiety, whatever we're having blockages with past traumas, clearing that. So personally, I've been using a microdosing schedule that I found has completely not only helped with my PTSD and my anxiety, but because I spend so much time online, and of course I do put in boundaries and self-care practices and routines into my life, I do find though that after a decade working online that I have felt the effects. And supplementing with plant medicine and microdosing has allowed me to re-spark my creativity, my workflow, and just create better connections with my work and my productivity, so I can produce more without feeling burnt out. And I feel it's coming from a very creative spot that I wasn't nurturing for almost 30 years. So it,
Wow.
it's been really wonderful. It's helped in so many ways. I am very, very big on people at least trying it out. At such a low dose, there's very it's not, if you do more research into, I know I could talk forever on this, but it's a lot of people were misled about the dangers of it. And if you look further into it, you'll find that there is a host of benefits for microdosing. And this is something, obviously, that's been going on in California, in Silicon Valley for years. It's been really popular here, but it's kind of just taking off a little bit more now into the mainstream, now that a lot of the restrictions are coming off of it in some states and is being decriminalized.
Yeah, awesome. I think that it's a topic that people are interested in, that they haven't dived into it yet, and I think they're all a little apprehensive. Does it really work? Does it really work? If you're interested in medicine, or she has such an amazing story. We would never have enough time to actually share her entire story on here, but you're such an inspiration to me, Mindy. I just love you so much, and I really
I love you too.
that, a lot of the things that you have done in your business has really helped you to evolve to the person that you are today, and not only the successes but the failures too. And who you are today is totally different than who you were 10 years ago, right? You've evolved, you've grown, and I'm just proud to be a part of your life, right? And so one thing I want to just hear from you real quick. We've been asking everybody on this summit, we're big on morning routines. Tell me a little bit about your morning routine and what you do to keep your
Mm.
mindset for the day.
Oh my gosh. my my fave, my morning routine. Oh my gosh, my baby.
Love it.
So I wake up early. Actually trying to wake up a little bit early. I'm trying to shoot for, my goal is to shoot for a 4:30 a.m. wake up, but we're working there. So I get up early. First thing I do in the morning, I get up. I take my microdose. We're in California, so I have a little bit of sativa, and then I do my morning meditation. It's usually one of Joe Dispenza's. It's a blessing of the energy centers, or it's his other morning meditation that I do. So it's either I'm doing meditating for either a half hour or an hour in the morning. After I do that, ideally I like to work out or stretch. Of course, now our gyms are still closed, so I do a little home workout if I can. I journal as well. I do my journaling, and then I also go over my affirmations. I also go over my gratitude list. Then I usually set my incense, and I set my music. I brew my coffee, and I get started.
All right. So thanks for sharing your morning routine with us. I know everybody's going to be super stoked to see everybody's morning routine and what they need to change in their own routine to be successful. But before we close out, I want everybody to know your information, how to find you, how to get a hold of you, and how to find more about your business.
Yeah, so I can be found virtually everywhere, but under the name Mindy Harley, or on Instagram, it's under I am Mindy Harley. And my website is Social Empire Online at, oh wait, that's my email, socialempireonline.com.
Perfect. Socialempireonline.com. And we're going to have all of
And
your email. Yeah.
yes, and my email is socialempireonline@gmail.com if you want to reach me through there.
Perfect. If you guys need any social media tips, she's the go-to person. She's absolutely awesome. I know people are probably gonna be more interested in wanting to know a little bit more about this natural medicine, probably more than social media, but we'll see. If you guys want any of her contact information, we're gonna go ahead and include that right below this interview, so you can get in touch with Mindy. Thank you so much for spending some time with us for this Business Mastery Summit, and we look forward to seeing more of you, Mindy.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Amber. Take care.
Bye. Thank you, sweetie.